The Porsche Taycan is a wonderful car and a brilliant way to get into an EV right now if you're slightly brave or a little bit mad, especially with used prices so low. But all is not perfect in Taycan land right now. Indeed, this car sometimes throws up some surprises, presents you with issues that leave you scratching your head a little bit and thinking, why on earth have they done that? This does not make any sense.
And it's one of those issues that I want to discuss in this video, and quite frankly, it's an issue that should not be happening, especially to a car which should be as high quality as the Taycan in terms of its development and engineering. It is pretty good, but these silly little things that pop up now and then are quite frustrating. So the story goes, whilst I was on holiday recently, I had an alert on my phone, on my Porsche app, to say that there was a theft alert triggered for the car. And I thought, oh, has my car actually been stolen here? None of the other house alarms had been triggered, so I thought, it just seems a little bit unlikely. Checking the CCTV as well, the car was indeed still sat there on the driveway, rather proudly. I haven't been stolen, dear master. But it kind of got me thinking, well, I guess this is just a false positive for a theft. It hasn't really been stolen, so a glitch in the app, their server, in the matrix somewhere, something not quite right. So I thought, well, the car hasn't been stolen, we're good, continue the holiday as normal. Upon returning home from the holiday, which was very good and much needed, I arrived at the house and indeed the car was luckily still sat there, so nobody was putting any fake images or holding any posters up in front of the camera like they would do in Ocean's 11 or something. So the car was indeed still there. No car was stolen in the making of this short video, which is good. So I thought, okay, well, let's get into the car and see what's happening. I produced the key fob and pressed it. No response from the car at all. Absolutely nothing. Dead as a dodo. I thought, oh, maybe it's the key fob. Maybe the battery in the key fob's going, because you get the little LED flashing around that Porsche logo, that ring of light, and I couldn't see that very clearly. So just to take that possibility off the table, I replaced the battery in the key fob, and you could indeed see a very clear, bright red LED flashing on clicking of the key fob. So I thought, it's definitely not the key fob. Went out and tried again. Absolutely nothing. Okay, I thought maybe there is a problem with the system. Tried communicating with the car via the Porsche app. There is a capability where you can unlock the car, and that wasn't working either. Indeed, the app was pretty much disabled because of the theft alert triggered that little logo in the top corner with the hand saying something bad has happened, even though it hadn't. And I thought, well, it seems like the car is dead, as in no power. Has it suffered a malfunction? I checked the app again, and the battery states, the HV battery, the traction battery, was at 37%, which is a lot. Now, here is the problem. We know that the Porsche Taycan has a 12 volt system to run the PCM, to run things like the communication with the cellular network, opening and closing the car, ensuring that the relays can open to engage the traction battery, all that kind of stuff, all the low voltage necessities that are required for the operation of a car. You don't really want 800 volts running through your cigarette lighter or your stereo, do you? It could be a little bit risky, so of course a 12 volt system makes complete sense. Indeed, all EVs have them. Tesla also have a 12 volt system. The PCM was borrowed from Porsche's existing manufacturing capability, because they already make these things for all their other cars. So why not borrow that 12 volt system, port it over to the Taycan? And indeed, the PCM system in here, if you're familiar with a Porsche, it's pretty similar in terms of the way it works. So it's that same system that's been brought over. So If that dies, then you would think that the car is indeed bricked, and it kind of is until you jump it. Yeah, jumping an EV, it's a bizarre concept, right? So I got on the phone to Porsche Assist, and they were pretty good. I explained the symptoms, and the guy on the end of the phone said, I think I know what the problem might be here. And as I was suspecting as well, has the 12-volt battery indeed died? The AA man came round pretty quickly and jump-started the car. He entered the car by using the traditional mechanical key in the door. He connected the battery booster box down here, was able to pop the trunk and then connect the booster under the trunk then. And upon doing so, you heard some relays click and the car did indeed spring into life. Very helpful guy, knew his stuff, not the first time he's done this, and power was brought back to the car very quickly indeed, which is good, but also not good. Now, I took this car in recently for, well, not recently, probably last year now, for some software updates, specifically updates to address issues with the 12-volt battery system charging, which was a service bulletin communicated to all Taycan dealers that this software update was required to ensure that the 12-volt battery was topped up by the HV battery regularly. It's the WNK1 update specifically, only one letter away perhaps from being what it could be referred to rather rudely. But it was applied and I thought, okay, cool, because prior to this I had the occasional message popping up on my PCM system saying that the battery voltage was too low to maintain proper operation of the system, something along those lines. So I thought, yeah, something isn't right with the 12-volt system. Since that update, I've not seen that error message when driving, which is good. But here is the issue. I thought, great, because this update's applied, the 12-volt battery system is going to be kept topped up at all times by the traction battery, by that HV battery. So you could effectively leave the car for months and months and months, safe in the knowledge that your 12-volt battery system will be topped up, just as it is in a Tesla. I understand a Tesla system will maintain the 12-volt battery system from the high voltage battery system pretty much for as long as it can until the HV battery gets to critical levels, right? It'll do it as much as it needs to. With this car, the Taycan, it is apparently not the case. Rather frustratingly. And I did a lot of digging online to find out what is going on here. And the AA man also confirmed that yes, the HV battery system will top up the Taycan battery, but apparently only when the ignition is on or the charging cable is plugged in and it is charging or maintaining that charge. At other times it is not, and I thought, surely it must. This can't be the case. And this is when I went into a bit of a research rabbit hole. It was actually very hard to find out a clear answer as to what happens with that 12-volt battery system when the Taycan is parked up, left for an extended period of time. And it seems to be that some people say that the battery is indeed topped up when it is parked, provided the HV battery has enough juice. And it does this apparently. It will top up the 12-volt battery 8 times. Now, it's difficult to say how often that will happen, how long a cycle of the battery draining and recharging will take. I'm not so sure. But to give you some context to my situation, I'd been using the car relatively regularly, apart from maybe, I want to say, 2 weeks prior to going on holiday. And the reason for that is I've just got the wonderful SL55 and I was obviously putting a lot of effort and time into that car as well. So this car maybe had sat for a little bit and hadn't been plugged in, hadn't been charged. But 37% battery, right? So should be good for a while. Now, herein lies the problem. A, it is not clear what happens to the battery when it is parked. Porsche probably need to communicate that a bit better. If they have, forgive me, but I might have missed it. But here is the bigger problem, point B. Why is this happening at all on this car? 37% HV battery left is what, 37, I don't know, let's say in this car maybe about 30 kilowatt hours, roughly, just off the top of my head. So a lot to top up that 12 volt lithium ion battery. All right, a lot. Why, if it does only happen 8 times, why is it only happening 8 times? And why on earth should they have designed this that you can be in a situation where you have 37% left in your traction battery and a dead 12 volt system? What would you rather have happen if your car was left for an extended period of time? That the traction battery should keep that 12 volt battery topped up indefinitely until it gets down to a supercritical level, maybe, I don't know, 10%, 5%, something like that, right? Or that 12 volt system is allowed to completely die, leaving your car completely unusable, which is exactly what happened in this situation. Very frustratingly as well. It just shouldn't be the case. That HV battery should be keeping that 12 volt battery topped up as much as it possibly can. And it could be fixed, I'm sure, via another simple software update. For sure. I'm positive on that. So this video is a call out, is a shout out to Porsche engineers to please, if you can, fix this issue. Yeah, so just keep an eye on that 12 volt battery level on the dash on this specific screen here. You want that to be reading about 13.5, ideally at a minimum, most of, if not all the time. And that will ensure, that will tell you that your 12 volt battery is currently in good condition. It should not be happening. We need another update, and do share this video around if you can. Spread it out there a bit in the hope they might see this. Who knows, they probably wouldn't, but it would be good if they did. But it simply should not be happening in a car of this nature. So Porsche, if you're watching, get your act together, get this fixed, because it's a rather silly thing to be happening. That 12 volt battery should be kept up for as long as the car can do it, really, so that your car is always accessible and never in the situation where the 12 volt system has died and your car is bricked until you get service out to open it back up for you. Not good, not a great look. So that's it for this one. A bit of an informational video. You must keep your Taycan topped up as best you can to ensure that it doesn't completely die. So use it or plug it in and top up that charge every so often. People have also said that by remotely starting the car's heater system, the preheat system, does this also reset that 8 times of the amount the battery is topped up? It's inconclusive on this, but it's something you can also try remotely. But bottom line is, there should be management systems in place in the PCM to ensure that it doesn't happen. So that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Do stay safe, stay well. See you on the next one, and bye for now.